After last year's playoff success, Wimbledon finds itself back in League One, but Olof Melberg is still on thin ice. Josh Gordon has proved that Melberg has some top talent spotting abilities, but things really need to improve and we've been offered yet another ultimatum. Due to our poor finances this season, we're going to be restricted to signing only free agents. To avoid repeating the exact same mistakes of last year, we're also going to make some significant changes at the club. We'll be totally changing our playing style, we'll be retraining some of our player positions, and we'll also be investing heavily into our youth academy. Finding players under 20 years old with high aggression has proven to be quite the challenge, so if you've got any tips, please share them below in the comments. That is, other than this guy. He's 18 years old but has 86 aggression. If we develop him right, he could be in our team all the way to the Premier League. It's clear that we do need several new first team players, but thankfully our shortlist is more like a long list due to the numerous options we have available. Like last year, we'll also only be signing players with over 75 aggression, but this time, we're aiming to play a more attractive brand of football. If this Wimbledon team wants to become more attacking, we really have to start by strengthening our defence. Wayne Hennessy, the 37-year-old Welsh international, is desperate to learn about playing in League One, and he becomes our highest rated player. Nathaniel Chalobah also adds Wimbledon to his list of London teams he's played for, having previously played for Watford, Chelsea, Fulham and kind of London-based team Reading. He will be a key presence in midfield, running from one box to the other. Right, so I've now played Preseason, and switching from last year's 4-2-3-1 to a wider 4-3-3 works really well. It makes it so much easier to press the opposition and get the ball out wide in this formation. It's not all good news though. I've just noticed that MK Dons actually finished above us in 3rd place last year, so we'll have to smash them at least twice more in the league this year. I guess promotion also isn't the goal, so I'll also be trying to get as far as I can in the EFL Cup, EFL Trophy and FA Cup, just so we get a little bit more transfer budget next year. As our newly rebuilt team kicks off the season, a strong start is actually really important. Anything less than about 10 points from the first 5 games and we could be sacked. Our manager rating is going to be way harder to raise against these better opponents. Thankfully for us though, our first game of the season was against Stockport County, who were another team that got promoted from League 2 into League 1 last season. You can see our full team right here. Anthony Knockout has a real bad stamina problem, and I didn't realise that Iran Kunda also had so low stamina. I think Knockouts is about 40, but Iran Kunda is 21 years old with 48 stamina. It's going to be terrible, and we're going to have to do a lot of rotating at right wing this season. But as the League 1 season kicks off, let's see how we get on in this first game. Like I said, we really do need about 10 points from these first 5 games, so if we can get 3 in the first game, that would be absolutely immense. But Stockport had the first attack, good save there from Wayne Hennessy getting a first touch of the ball, and Iran Kunda actually winning the first foul of the game, which wasn't from AFC Wimbledon. You can see though, we're still getting stuck in. Campbell winning the ball high for us, giving it to Iran Kunda. He runs past the defence, takes a shot, and Jordan Smith, someone you might recognise from that Notts County series we did last year, saving the shot. Iran Kunda again, he's really been a massive part of our rise over the past couple of months. Pre-season he was really good, and he's starting off the season just as well. Another good save there from Jordan Smith, and you can see that Olof Melberg is getting a bit animated on the touchline. Surprisingly, the first yellow card also went to Stockport, so they had the first foul and the first yellow card. Maybe we're just getting a little bit better at performing the fouls, so they're not actually getting given against us. Chalobah though, this was what we said, box to box. He ran into the box and around the goalkeeper and scored our opening goal of the season. Great play, and it's exactly what we needed from midfielder, someone who could actually attack rather than just getting stuck in and winning fouls. We had another chance here, Kun running down the left, and Iran Kunda could easily have tapped that in. Maybe if he had a little bit more fitness, he would have been able to get onto the end of it. Into the second half, yet another dirty foul from Stockport, and we actually really hadn't given away too many. We were winning balls like that. You've seen Chalobah's aggression shoving someone over, and he nearly gets into the box, and that potentially could have been a 2-0 lead. Stockport getting to the box, and there's no way Hennessy's having any issues with that. He even flips over Uzcock right there just to make sure he gets the ball. Wayne Hennessy's going to be a massive part of this season. Speaking of Australian centre-backs, it's actually going to be Jack Iredale that gets our first yellow card of the season. We're not going to be annoyed, it's actually quite an honour to get the first yellow card in this team. But the foul and the free kick has been punished by Stockport County. A floated ball into the box, volleyed straight past Wayne Hennessy. With 10 minutes to go, we get a decent chance right here. Kun is running away from right. He's one-on-one with Smith and calmly finishes it into the side netting. 2-1. A nice performance from the entire team there. I like a counter-attack. We're trying to play a bit more possession this year, but a counter-attack like that, we're not going to say no if we have the chance to go 1-0 up. Our pressing up front works really well, and it gives Kinsella a chance to shoot. Just goes over the bar, and in our last chance of the match, Kinsella again wins the ball high. Josh Gordon could open his League One account, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't. We still win the game though. 3 points from this first match, as we said, is absolutely massive. The problem is though that our manager rating is still very much in the danger zone throughout the rest of the 5 games. Thankfully though, our youth scouts return, giving us some breathing room because of how much the board love young players. Fulfilling the only critical objective should keep us safe in our job for at least 6 more months. Despite how well we started the season, the little bit of hope we had as we entered the League Cup is pretty much done. The draw wasn't great, giving us Premier League teams in the second round. Let's be honest, it doesn't look like we're actually going to get much further than this. We're still suffering with those Anthony Knockaert stamina issues. I mean, he's basically got 6 fitness before the game's even started. And it's going to be a pretty tough game as well. West Ham United away at the London Stadium. David Moyes, of course, achieving a lot more in his career than someone like Olof Melberg, but we had a chance for a pretty decent upset if we actually pressed really high, because West Ham had so many young players in this squad. But of course they did have players like Ben Rama, Lucas Paqueta. That's 2 players that Wimbledon could only dream about owning. But we did actually have a few players with some Premier League experience, and Wayne Hennessy was one of them. He saved Evan Ferguson's shot right there, and he was going to be super important throughout this match, especially after we gave away a super soft penalty really early in the first half. Up stepped Lucas Paqueta against Hennessy, and he's just chipped it straight down the middle. Such a frustrating goal to concede. I hate it when these block tackles end up with penalties, despite that probably being what the law says should be happening. We nearly equalised straight away, Josh Gordon getting a chance, but West Ham just about keeping out. The corner as well, great save over the bar. The one thing we can't afford to do is make mistakes, and when you pass the ball to Ben Rama and Paqueta's one-on-one with Wayne Hennessy, there's only going to be one result. I think you all know the single stat that we're better than West Ham at, and it's aggression. Winning 50-50s is exactly what Iran Kuna has done right there, and he's made it 2-1. If we cancel out the annoying penalty we probably shouldn't have conceded, and the mistake we made passing it straight to Ben Rama, we could easily have been 1-0 up. Evan Ferguson made it 3-1, and you could basically sense any kind of morale our team had drop out of them with that. Wayne Hennessy made a couple of good saves, it hit the post, the ball bounced out to Paqueta, so that's now 4-1. We would keep attacking, 4-2, maybe we're still in the game. Josh Gordon with another nice shot there, it could have gone in the top corner on another day. With the clock ticking out of time, they had one last attack from the corner. The referee could have easily blown his whistle before this, but he didn't. Lucas Paqueta gets his hat-trick, West Ham go through to the 3rd round, and Wimbledon are out. Even against such a tough team, I still say we played surprisingly well, but we are knocked out of the competition. It's annoying that the board actually doesn't care about the quality of the opposition when rating your cup performances, but I guess we're just going to be focusing on the league for a little bit of time. Our league form is actually still quite shaky, and our manager rating is still dangerously low, so we decide to take some drastic measures. We're going to unleash this team, set every player to aggressive interceptions, put the team on constant press, and push the defensive line way higher. Hopefully we can fight for every ball, and let's be honest, who actually cares about how many cards and suspensions you get when you've got this many players to cover the gap? Our new approach is simple: win every 50-50 challenge, smash into the opposition, and don't care about the consequences. I guess it's high risk, but we do need a turnaround, so it could also be quite high reward. Portsmouth were the first team that was going to face our new and improved Wrath. So this could have easily been a Premier League match in the past, both teams having a rich Premier League history. We had the first chance hitting the crossbar, and then somehow our diving header goes wide. If we look at it from this angle, it's not actually even close. You should at least hit the post from that angle, although I guess diving headers are a lot harder than they look like when you see them on TV. We had another attack right here. This time Gordon getting the ball, a deflection out for a corner, so it was looking like our tactics were starting to work. However, on the defence, things were a little bit more shaky. We could make some interceptions, but they were very much last ditch. You might also notice how out of position some of our players are and how little stamina we have in just the first half an hour. Portsmouth absolutely capitalised on that. No one even close to their winger as he volleys it into the net. So the further we get into the game, the more we need to press. Thankfully this time it's paid off, and Kinsella could easily have found the net from the edge of the box right there. We need to keep this up. We can keep pressing them. There's not actually that much talent in League One when it comes to passing and composure. Even when we are beaten, we do have one of the best goalkeepers in the league right there, Wayne Hennessy, stopping basically any chance. But as the game went on, we got less and less control over it. All of a sudden, Portsmouth were getting through one-on-one. We were losing headers we would never have lost last year because we had way more stamina back then. We had Josh Gordon on 7%. We had Knockout with 0% stamina left. We brought on an entire new attack to see if we could press higher up and maybe get the game back under our control. Kinsella would get the ball in midfield. He would see the run from Gregorio. He would beat his defence using that new stamina, and his finish was really good, but it bounced off the wrong bit of the post and bounced out. I was actually super impressed by Kinsella in this game. His header would find Gregorio again, and Irankunda playing off the left this time, again, really should have scored. So we had two great chances after changing our players. We keep pressing as high up the pitch as possible. You can see we've only made 59 passes in this game. That's absolutely terrible, but we went full counter-attack, trying to win the ball wherever we could. Again, Gregorio is on the ball. His pass out wide is intercepted, but Kalakin finds Gregorio again, and it's 2-1. Is it game on with 10 minutes to go? We could easily get an equaliser right here and prove that our new tactic is absolutely ideal for the situation we're in. Well, we could until Portsmouth got through one-on-one again, and this time there's no chance we're going to get anywhere near stopping this. I don't think this tactic is really going to work. I think it was even too aggressive for the players that we have. It's too gung-ho. We're throwing too many players forward. We're getting too out of position, and you can see exactly why right here. We have a centre-back with no stamina left, and it was 3-on-1. There's no chance we're stopping that. It even cost us an injury to our best left-back there, Jack Iredale. He wasn't going to be out for too long, but I think this game was proof that we can't play like this ever again. As we put the league aside for a few weeks, the group stage of the EFL Trophy comes to an end, and we actually managed to get all the way to the semi-final. So while we have that game coming up, we're actually going to play an even more important one right now. It's actually in our cup where this new aggressive playstyle starts to show some promise, but in the league it's still going really badly, causing our manager rating to remain dangerously low. Anything below 49 could lead to a sacking, and we're on 55. We just need to keep playing games, and this one against MK Dons at home is going to be super massive if we want to stay in a job much longer. Plough Lane is absolutely buzzing, and all the players are up for this, so let's try and demolish the pretenders. We kick off, we get the ball out wide straight away, we know our game plan. Irankunda taking a long shot, forcing a corner. We're pretty good from corners, but that's disappointing, not even hitting the target. The goalkeeper should at least be making a save from basically every corner with the amount of height, aggression and desire we have in our team. Wayne Hennessy with yet another great save, keeping it 0-0. Without this guy, if we had the same goalkeeper as last year, I think we would basically be relegated already. Look at that, another two great saves, keeping us in this match. Josh Gordon trying to lead a counter-attack now. Kuhn, he finds Campbell out wide. So this is a defensive midfielder, and that proves exactly why he's not playing left wing normally. However, when we do get the ball out to a real winger or someone like Chalobah with a bit of pace, we are making chances. We're going to need to change our strategy up, I think, maybe around half-time. See if we can go a little bit more wing play rather than the kick and rush we're normally playing. Another great save there from Hennessy. I really can't stop saying how good he is on this game for a League One team. He stops so much compared to that guy that we had last year. One cool thing about FC24 is how bizarre some of the transfers are, so when this popped up, I thought I had to share it with you. I mean, 165.5 million there for Rodrigo. I think you could probably get Vinicius for that same price, so I'm not sure what Liverpool are really playing at right there. I'm not sure what we're playing at either, because we've let MK Dons hit the ball straight through Wayne Hennessy. If he hadn't moved at all, I think he would have saved the shot, but unfortunately for us, he dived out the way of it. I mean, after all of the things we've said about him, that is truly some pretty bad goalkeeping. We keep the pressing up, we keep trying to aggressively intercept basically everything, but MK Dons keep making chances. We beat them both times last year, and it's really not looking like it's our day. I mean, a shot like that hitting the crossbar, what more can we do to score a goal in this game? We've got that same problem as before. All of our defenders have zero stamina, but we're still just about able to keep the ball out of the net. until the 89th minute, where Lecco would make it 2-0. So unfortunately, we have finally lost to MK Dons. We have a pretty bad run in the league. We're doing alright in the FA Trophy, but we're out of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup now. So really, we need something special to keep us in a job at this point. We don't actually have any objectives when it comes to the EFL Trophy, but surely winning it could keep us in a job. Really, we're only in the semi-final because of the team's determination. We came back for some pretty bad situations to go on to win. We absolutely have it in us to go on to win this competition. So let's get into the match with the first half kicking off. What a kickoff it was as well. We basically ran down the other end after kickoff and went 1-0 up after 6 minutes. What a start, what a finish that was from Josh Gordon. But of course, Reading have some decent players. They've still got some remnants of their championship squad. They've also got the thing that's most dangerous to our defence, which is quite a lot of pace. But thankfully, Wayne Hennessy is the man on top of that chance. He was going to be super important for this whole match, our goalkeeper, especially after this mistake from Campbell. I'm not sure what he's even trying to do, tackle like that. It was also outside the box, but it was given as a penalty. Wayne Hennessy guessed the right way, but he's probably not quite agile enough to reach the top corner from that position. So it's 1-1 now. Just before half time. We keep pushing, we're making some good chances. That could easily have found the side netting if he had a little bit more finishing stats, but Reading are going to keep pushing forwards as well. Campbell in a very similar position, giving away yet another foul, and we got so lucky with that bouncing off the post and back to Hennessy. Again, Kuhn would get the ball out wide. He would this time pass it across to Kinsella, saved, open net, we couldn't quite get on it, and the angle was too tight. So that's half time, come and gone. The first half of this game, pretty crazy. The second half, not quite as crazy though. We get some good blocks in right there. That could easily have been a goal if we didn't throw our body in the way of it. And this is the highlight where the entire match changes. For some reason, Holzman goes in hard and he gets a red card. I was actually thinking that was going to be a yellow, so I was actually quite surprised when Louis Holzman got the red card. But looking at the replay, it is quite a vicious tackle. He probably did deserve it. This meant we were all of a sudden the favourites to go on to win the match. We had some good chances right here. We played it through, but we couldn't quite pull it back across yet again where it would have been an open goal and definitely the winner. You can see the massive hole that Holzman has left in the defence. Josh Gordon didn't quite have enough pace to get there before the goalkeeper Bouzanis. Reading were clearly holding on for penalties because there's no extra time in this competition. It's full time and then straight to penalties. We had a great chance here. Anthony Knockout's probably the one man we would want to be hitting that. But again, we can't quite beat their goalkeeper. Look how good our counterattacks were. We are actually through on goal there with no defenders around Josh Gordon, but the referee blew his whistle, so that meant penalties for a spot in the final. Gordon stepped up first, straight into the top corner. The second penalty, Durmich here, chips it down the middle, and Hennessy's never getting fooled by that. Things would keep going on until our fourth penalty. Kinsella would go top corner and he would be saved, which meant things were level yet again. Vela would score the first penalty in sudden death, which meant if we saved this penalty, we were in the final. Carson stepped up, hits the post. Hennessy went the wrong way anyway. He'll celebrate like he saved it, but we're through to the final. Yes! So after a really good performance in the semi-final, it's just a shame we couldn't say the same about the league. We still hover close to the relegation zone, and just a week before we were going to play the final, we finally got the email we had been dreading. We had been relieved of our duties as Wimbledon manager. There's plenty I could say about FC24 career mode, but I have to say this is an issue I have seen quite a few people complaining about already. Board objectives are way too threatening and important, and people are getting fired for being a Premier League team and offering someone £6,000 a week. Hopefully it gets fixed in a patch, but sadly this will be the end of our Wimbledon career. I'm sorry that ended this way, but because of how autosaves work on the new game, there's actually no way to avoid and get around this firing. I'll make sure to start a more successful career mode very soon, so make sure you subscribe. But still, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you enjoyed last video as well. Thank you for watching, I'll see you soon, cheers and goodbye.